title screens. One of the most overlooked things in a video game, in my opinion. A lot of people just boot up the game, breeze right through the menus like there's no tomorrow, but for me, personally, the first thing I do when I start a game is just sit on the title screen for a few minutes and just take in everything. Especially if it's something I'm really excited for and want to experience everything to the fullest. After all, title screens are your first memory you will take from a game, and will be the first impression you will have, and that's just what makes it so important. Today, I'm just going to be taking some of my favorite and most iconic title screens in gaming, and just why they're so special to me and to many others. I know I'm not alone in this. I know a lot of people like title screens, but there's definitely a good chunk of people who just skip over that shit. But anyways, if you don't see your favorite game in here, I'm sorry. You have my full permission to airstrike my house. Alright. Persona 3. What better way to start than with my favorite game of all time? Now, this one's a bit of a weird one because this is actually the Persona 3 FES title screen and not the OG Persona 3 title screen. But I would also have to say that both of them are amazing, but I prefer the OG one in terms of look and color. But the thing that sends the FES one above is just that rendition of Brand New Days that plays in the background. Oh my god, it's so good. And the OG uses a song that just plays in the game, but in FES, it just plays a whole new version of the ending song to The Answer, which, if you don't know, is the epilogue to the original game, which I just personally find really neat because you hear the same melody upon starting the game for the first time and upon finishing it. Now, putting the music aside, title screen doesn't really tell you much about the game, but I actually think that works in its favor. You just see a green hue and a moon in the background that just represents the dark hour, which is just the main mechanic around the story in the game, so that's basically all it tells you, but it's all you really need to know to enjoy this game. I love you, Persona 3. Final Fantasy X-2. A relatively simple title screen, but effective. To me it just screams 2000s, but then again the entire game does, but it also came out in the 2000s, so that would explain it. It just features some runic looking symbols and our main characters, Yuna, Riku, and Pain, but that's not exactly what does this title screen for me. This one is an interesting one and might be case specific towards me. I just finished Final Fantasy X like actually a week ago, and if you guys have played that game, you would know that it has quite an emotional ending. Opening Final Fantasy X-2 afterwards and hearing this music and seeing the more like somber colors and tone was just a wave of emotions, and it hit in such an amazing way. This is genuinely probably one of my favorite Final Fantasy songs, and that is saying something, trust me. Granted, the actual game didn't really live up to the somber tone that the title screen sets up, but hey, we don't talk about that. Persona 5. You know what they say? If it's got style and charm, it's probably Persona 5. This title screen just oozes personality. The red and black color scheme, which is like the main colors of the game, and the fully redded out characters with their masks being highlighted it's just such a look that only Atlas UI team can pull off, I feel like. Even having the camera shift to different characters depending on what section of the menu you have highlighted is such a cool detail that you will rarely see in any other game. Having a certain character the furthest away from them is also a really neat touch, but I won't get into that. And on top of all that, the music just perfectly encapsulates the style of the music you'll be hearing throughout the entire game. And it's also just an amazing song on its own. Even if you don't factor all that in, for me, there's also a sentimental value in this menu, as this game is the first time I truly branched out into playing games out of my comfort zone, and I couldn't be more happy as Persona 5 ended up being one of my favorite games. So every time I see this menu now, I'm reminded of that one single step I took. Halo 3. You know this one had to be on here. Possibly the most iconic title screen in gaming, just due to how much reach that it had. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has probably played Halo 3 at some point, and knows this main menu music. It was in so many memes back in the day, and even now it still stands the test of time and people still use it in memes. The menu itself also just has like a really cool vibe to it with the muted blues and the dark tone overall. But admittedly, I'm not like a crazy Halo fan, so I don't have too much to say on this in terms of like meaning in the story and such, but you know that it's a menu that absolutely had to be included. Sonic 06. Some may be very confused why this is on here, but man, is this title screen so important to me. Now, Sonic 06 was the first game I ever beat, and I absolutely adored it as a kid, and it was my favorite game for a long time. Obviously, growing up, I know that this game definitely had its flaws, but I'm just never going to play it again to keep that memory of a child alive. Anyways though, the whole thing around this game was that it just radiated confidence through and through. The box art isn't anything fancy, it's just Sonic running with like not much flair to it. The complete removal of a subtitle or number in the title of the game is just like, that was so crazy at the time, I think. And not to mention this title screen. Say I wiped your memory and you didn't know this title screen, and say I also took out the title and the Sega logo at the bottom. Would you have any idea that this is a Sonic game? Absolutely not. But I think that's honestly one of the coolest things about this game. Whether or not they pulled this off is one thing, but you can absolutely tell that they wanted this game to reinvent Sonic completely. And it shines through in almost every aspect. And one final thing I haven't even talked about yet is that His World has got to be one of the best songs from a game in general, and I will not take any slander upon this legendary piece of music. Wow. Wow. I haven't even played Xenoblade yet, but boy does this make me want to so bad. This is like the cleanest title screen in existence. Like the Monado sticking up from the ground and the endless plains of grass and that absolutely beautiful piano in the background. It's just it's too much. And on top of all of that, this menu has its own day and night cycle. Like, what? Why would they do that? I don't know. I'm just, like, and I'm sure this menu even becomes more emotional to look at after finishing the game too, but you don't even need to know a thing about Xenoblade to like this menu, and hey, fuck it. I think I'm just gonna play those right now. Fucking goddamn. Sorry. Had to let that run extra long because I think it needs to fully set the mood. I cannot express just how taken aback I was when I booted this up for the first time. I think I actually sat here for probably like 10 minutes. This title screen it makes me feel nostalgic for the game, even though I only played it for the first time like just over a year ago. I cannot even imagine if you played this when it came out what you feel for this title screen. Just everything is perfect. The logo is clean as always, the Sora art is so wholesome, the water beneath him being used as highlights for the menu, just everything is absolute peak. Plus, the best part, after everything is said and done, you have the best version of Dearly Beloved playing in the back, which just wraps everything up into a nice little present for you. Just like, damn. I love this title screen so much, and I can't wait to see what Kingdom Hearts 4 has for its title screen. And that was my take on these title screens. Hope you enjoyed, and I know there's a lot that I left out here for the sake of the video being shorter, but I would definitely be open to doing another one of these for sure. I had a lot of fun making this video, so if you got any more, leave them in the comments. Maybe I'll make some. So we'll see. If you found a new love for title screens in this video, then wow, thank you so much. I am very honored. But yeah, plan to do more videos along these lines, so stay tuned, and thank you. And yes, I did just make this a Persona 3 Reload ad at the end of the video, so please go out and buy the game, please.